everyone, I hope you're all doing so well and having an amazing week, and welcome to this little oil painting and chill session of this painting entitled Bunny the Conqueror. There will be a speed paint of this painting at the end of this video, and thank you so much for your wonderful comments on my last video. I really appreciate it. And this week's weekly shout out goes to Eve Harvey Art. She is absolutely wonderful, and I will leave a link to her amazing channel below, so please check it out. If you'd like to be featured in my weekly channel shout out, all you have to do is subscribe, press the bell and leave a comment. Before we begin the speed paint, I normally do a little chat about various topics. In this video, I thought I'd talk about one complete disaster I had this week, and secondly, I thought I'd talk about fantasy art and where my art is heading, which might be helpful for you if you are an artist. Disaster is to do with this painting. I do hope you like it. This isn't obviously the speed paint that I'm doing this week, but it was supposed to, of this rather majestic owl. Unfortunately, I did the amateur mistake of I was basically scrolling through my phone trying to delete various files. Storage on my phone is like nothing. I'm sure you guys can relate. And so I was desperately trying to flick through my phone and delete all my files so I could make space for more speed paints, because I have quite a lot coming up. And unfortunately, I deleted my entire speed paint of this painting, so I can't show it to you in this video. And so I decided to look for apps that could potentially restore my deleted videos. And I don't know if any of you have done this, but I've yet to find one that actually works. So I installed all these apps. So it's like really going for it, finding absolutely every app I possibly could and just installing all of them. All these apps, all they did was just show me the files that I already had. And I just kept thinking, I know I have these files, but I want to restore the deleted files. But unfortunately, these apps seem to not be capable of that, despite claiming that they did restore deleted files. So if anyone has a solution, please let me know. But if you have been through this experience, I feel your pain. It is so frustrating, and I nearly cried. It's a complete disaster. And now I thought I would talk about fantasy art as a genre and how I really want to explore more themes in fantasy art, because quite often with my artwork I tend to go into the really comfortable realm of painting what I know and what I know I'm quite good at, sort of ish, and so I will paint fantasy animals and fairies sometimes, and some nymphs and things like that, and that to me is so familiar and I can just do it without really thinking. But there are certain subject matter that I avoid, and I think a lot of artists are like this. We sort of avoid them because we know they're going to be really difficult because they're unfamiliar. So it's not like we couldn't do it, but it's just more work to sort of imagine, think of the story and come up with a good composition. So since there aren't any art challenges that I'm participating in at the moment, I've challenged myself to really work on certain areas of fantasy art that I don't explore very much because I find them hard. And one of them is painting dragons. I have painted dragons quite a bit before, and I have, I think, a couple of dragon paintings on my channel, but it's not to any large extent, and therefore I dread painting them because I think I can't get the composition quite right, and I have to keep fiddling around with the piece, and I have to keep working out where to put the details and the structure of the dragon and how to do dragon's eyes, and these are also complex things for me because I'm not so used to doing it. Another one is wizards. I did put a wizard on my Instagram during Mab's Halloween Club. Just after Mab's Halloween Club, and I really enjoyed painting a wizard, but again, it's not a super familiar subject matter for me. And for some reason, whenever I paint wizards, they always look really grotesque and ugly for some reason. And whenever I look at them, I'm sort of like, I can't post that because that looks really hideous. And I feel the same way with goblins, even though goblins are supposed to look, grotesque and hideous and weird. But sometimes when I look at my art. I think it looks too hideous and that people will be repulsed and perhaps unfollow me or something. And so I always have this concern. So I'm not entirely sure, or maybe sometimes people get offended. Like if you post really weird, sort of unearthly art, then people look at it and think, this comes from a disturbed mind, and then they just like delete you from existence. So I want to paint more and draw more unique characters and sort of eliminate the fear factor. I want to paint more witches, but I found again the same problem, that I tend to paint witches in a really beautiful ethereal way, sort of good witch, and I do enjoy that, but I would really like to explore the super dark side of witches and paint really monstrous looking witches, because after all, many witches as they are portrayed in fairy tales are not so beautiful. But again, I'm really worried that because I post most of my art initially on Instagram, that people will be offended by it if the witch is so hideously ugly. I worry that they may scream and be horrified by my attempts at painting, you know, grotesque witches. After all, there is a problem sometimes with posting on social media, because if your art has remained a certain way for so long, then when you post something that is radically different, it doesn't necessarily please your followers. And whilst this is sticking within the fantasy genre, painting in a more dark way may concern people who are following me primarily for more dreamlike and fantastical and beautiful art, as opposed to dark and creepy and odd and all of those things. So these are just some concerns that I have, and I know so many artists think of this, and I'm not the only one, because I've spoken to so many artists who have had so many concerns about posting on social media and worrying about alienating their audience. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about creating dark art and what your type of favourite art is, and I will see you in the speed paint. And don't forget to, after this chat about Instagram, follow me on Instagram. The story behind this painting is all about this bunny rabbit that could discover lots of secret passages, such as underground, secret passages underneath the earth where it lives, and also in trees, like sort of doors in trees that lead to fantastical worlds. And I just love this idea of, obviously the personification of animals is a real interest of mine, especially through my art, but also this concept that you could have human qualities in all different types of animals. So some could be conquering the world, some could be geniuses, some could be mathematicians, all these different, and scientists, all these different types of concepts. And this bunny rabbit is super intelligent because it's able to feel its way around and detect and sense where a new secret path would be. And I've always enjoyed painting and drawing rabbits. And one of my favourite movies is Watership Down. When I saw this movie as a child, it disturbed me so much. And I think that it disturbs many people when they see it, because it is so violent for a children's movie. So it's a huge surprise if you're expecting a cute film about sweet little bunny rabbits, you suddenly get shocked by some of the gore in it. But it's not the gore and the violence that really appealed to me about the film. It's the actual story itself, I think, is incredibly clever. It's much like Orwell's Animal Farm, although I think that George Orwell's Animal Farm focuses a lot on politics, whereas Watership Down deals, I think, more centralised on life and death and decisions, and possibly hierarchy as well, so you do get that element of politics, but not as much as Animal Farm. But really a great movie, and if you ever catch it, don't just turn it off if you can bear the scary parts, because I think it's a movie that really does stay with people. And it's really interesting about animation as well, because I think that animation is such an incredibly high art form. It's so underrated, and I really hope that it gets more attention, because there are so many animated movies that take years and years to make, and they sometimes slip under the radar when a lot of big release films come out. And it's a shame, because animation, as I say, takes so much hard work and a lot of talent as well. So I do hope you like this painting, and here is a little close-up. I will see you guys all next. See you all next week, I hope, and take care.